Oh, hello. I forgot to put on the video. I went to the bathroom. Oops. But, welcome everyone. Welcome to today's stream. I was surprised. I was like, wait a second. Did the intro freeze? And I was like, no, it didn't freeze. I'm just a fucking idiot. And I pressed the wrong button on my stream deck. And we went straight from the start screen. And then you guys probably watched me get up and leave. And you're like, Nick, come back. What are you doing? My B. We out here. Let's talk some college basketball. Actually, real quick, before we do that, I have one more thing I need to do. I just made a fresh pot of coffee. So I've got to go get some coffee. So I'll be back in like 30 seconds. Everybody be sure to say what's up if you have not done so though. Say hello. Give me your college basketball POD. I'll be right back. Skirt. What's going on, guys? Welcome. No. Okay. L streamer times 2. I just muted. Okay. No, I had that. I was saying I had that all timed out, so I could go. So I could go to the bathroom, give myself like a minute to do that. I could give myself like a minute to get my coffee. 30 seconds to spare. We'll be chilling, and I come back here, and I'm like, oh fuck, this isn't good. Okay. So, take 3. Ready and action. All right. So we've got a big college basketball slate today. Got a lot of bets. First things first, as always, little recap of yesterday. Yesterday, the overall betting card that you can see on the right-hand side of the screen. Not profitable. 3 wins, 4 losses, 1 push. Miami was a shit wager. They almost lost outright. Florida State, that hit. North Florida, POD, -5. Sure. How did that go? I don't think they played the game. I didn't see. Stephen F. Austin, W, -12. Southern and Arizona over. The first half was just too slow. Too many missed shots. Second half was great. We just couldn't quite get there. South Dakota State +7.5. They did not get there. Nebraska pushed. And the Citadel Presbyterian under with a legacy under. Missed 3-pointer that would have sent it over at the end of the day. That being said, the overall leans were phenomenal yesterday. I think that there's one thing on there that I didn't end up betting that lost. Everything else hit. Michigan plus the points won. They won outright. Michigan St. John's over hit. Butler hit. Nova lost. That was the one L. The over in Central Michigan Florida State hit. UMass -7.5 hit. The under in Western Carolina Middle Tennessee State hit. The SIUE +19 hit, and then UTEP -3.5 hit. So overall, like 11-5-1 or 10-5-1 on the leans. I managed to go 3-4-1 on the bets. So we've got a game starting in about 5 minutes. Let's find a bet in that. And Ben, if you're good to come on at any point if you want, I'm perfectly good to run the stream by myself. But do you have anything in this game starting up? So we've got UC Davis and North Dakota State. Let me go log into the book real quick. But yeah, this game is in about 5 minutes. And I want to start this off with a little squad ride. I don't love anything in this game, but since it's going to be on the entire stream, I figure we might as well place a bet. So we're looking at like -4.5, -5 for UC Davis. Total sitting on like 149.5, 150.5. I was definitely thinking about. Where'd my notes go? Here's my notes. Definitely thinking about taking North Dakota State plus the points here. This is a neutral site game. Elijah Pepper's definitely like the best player on the court in this game for UC Davis. But I kind of like the look of this North Dakota State team. Oh, is North Dakota State's leading scorer out? Are there injury issues for North Dakota State? I didn't see anything. If somebody can confirm that, that would be great. I mean, their leading scorer from last year, of course, is gone. In what's his face, Nelson. But North Dakota State was like a really, really young team last year. They have a lot of guys who can shoot, a lot of guys going into their sophomore year, which is when you see a lot of improvements. Not going to be like the biggest play ever for me. I think that North Dakota State plus the points on a neutral court is where I'm going to be. So give me, just as a little sweat, certainly not in the top 10 or 15 most confident plays today. But I'll take North Dakota State plus the points as a little sweat. Where's the game at? The game is in Missoula, Montana. So I think on the home court of University of Montana. But yeah, I'm taking North Dakota State as the lean ski in this one. Also, yeah, got the email since I had the Barstool Sportsbook app for Illinois at one point. Haven't seen the book. Yeah, they just like did a big rebrand. I guess it's like ESPN now. I don't know how that's going to go. I mean, Barstool is definitely a bottom tier book, both in terms of the odds that they offered and in terms of their promos. It just had the Barstool name. So I have zero expectations for ESPN Bet, which is the new, I guess the new name of the book. But yeah, I'll take North Dakota State plus 5 as a content sweat. All right. So let's see where we're at. I completely fucked up the intro, so we're not going to do roll call today. There's just like too many comments to go through. But again, appreciate everyone hanging out. Appreciate all the people in here excited for some college basketball stuff. I'm super looking forward to it. Ollie and Cam are on the first half under. Yeah, not surprising that two guys that I trust a lot are on the on a neutral site under in some way. It went live like an hour or two ago. Yeah. If anybody has like any reviews at all, positive reviews, negative reviews, the app looks great, the UI is awesome, the UI sucks, the odds are shit. I would love to hear everybody's experiences on the new book. Air quotes, new book. Also, right my wrongs. Yeah, how about them Dukes? Ranked in basketball and football? Let's fucking go. There's like, what, 5 or 6 teams with that are ranked in both sports. You got like Texas, Bama, Tennessee, Arizona, JMU. Yeah, the Dukes fit right in, and Arizona also fits right in there. Don't let Arizona being ranked in both sports get swept under the rug. You're going to be at game day this weekend. That's going to be fun. I was there. I think I was a senior. Oh, and Michigan. Michigan doesn't count Heisenberg. They stole the votes. But yeah, I was. I think my senior year at JMU was the first time they had college game day with Lee Corso dressed up as James Madison. That was great. Same exact as the sports book at the end. They have a new promo. So even if you had like already done promo on Barstool, you can do promo on the new app. That would be lit. Always love promos. Also, if anybody it lives in the state of I was about to say the state of Denver, the state of New Jersey, or the state of Colorado, and has not downloaded Sport Trade, number one, just do it. Sign up using code CW so they know that we sent you. And number two, reach out to me in private. like DM me on Twitter or something. I can help you out with some promo exploitation using Sport Trade to hedge out on other books. Can make like crazy money for like literal risk-free money, which is like an oxymoron in sports betting. But you can actually do it. Also, Ben is posting a tweet from Trell. Oh God. I'm not reading that for his sake. Either congratulations or I'm sorry that happened. I'll read that. I'll read that off stream. Give me the TLDR. All right. So we have puck drop in Missoula. UC Davis and North Dakota State are underway. UC Davis on the board first, 2-0. Oh God, the bet's chalked. GG's. Okay. No, so let's go through the slate. Planning on streaming for like an hour and a half or so today, maybe 2 hours. We'll see how we go. Oh, it's about the deposit match. Yeah, I'm still not reading that. There was like it was like fucking 5 paragraphs of TOS. Blocked by that bozo. Poor guy. Sorry, I'm sorry, J-Dems. I can't imagine why Trell blocked you. Trell's only is known for positive engagements only on his social media. Never blocked anybody, never had beef with anybody. That's crazy. Okay. Wisconsin and Providence. This is an interesting line. Very, very interesting line. So let me take a look at where we're at right now. Oh, in order to place your promotional bet, you have to name your firstborn Keith, and you can't eat filet of fish on Tuesdays. Hey, I mean, at least one of those I'm good with. Because I have a kid named Keith. Pause. No, I don't. All right. So let's take a look. So we got Wisconsin minus 1.5 right now in Rhode Island, taking on Providence. Over-under sitting at 140, 141-ish, depending on where we're looking. So last time Wisconsin played, they played Tennessee. They were in that spot where it was like, oh, we've got an unranked team at home facing a ranked road team. Let's bet, and the home team's the underdog. Let's bet on the home team. I faded both of those. I didn't actually bet them, but I had them on the massive paragraph long lean sheet, fading both of them. I don't really like this Wisconsin team. I know they screwed me over in their first game against Arkansas State. I think that was just a bad read that I had on an Arkansas State team that I thought was going to be improving, but is really just dog shit. Wisconsin did like a decent enough job keeping up with Tennessee. I mean, they scored 70 against that pretty good defense. I think that Providence's talent that they have is underrated. I know there's people talking about like roster turnover for Providence. But I kind of like the makeup of this team. Devin Carter's back. Bryce Hopkins is back. A couple good transfers following from George Mason. Biggest one being Josh Aduro. Big time freshman in there who's been starting for them. Give me Providence at home. Give me Providence at home here. I don't trust Wisconsin to go out and like score a bunch of points in clutch time. So give me Providence. Did I just say I don't trust Providence? I meant I don't trust Wisconsin. If I said I don't trust Providence. Also, L. Pearson, are we fading Florida A&M? Probably. I'm always down to fade Florida A&M. The number there is pretty damn big, though. So give me Providence, ML. Let's take a look at where it's at. Plus 105. Plus 108 on Sport Trade. I'll call it plus 105. Definitely a lean, although I think I could get there on this. I've really been staying away from betting games in these like power conference versus power conference teams, just because like I think the market knows a lot more about like Providence versus Wisconsin than they do about like two bumfuck teams playing each other. But I think I could get around on this one. So God likes Wisconsin here. their experience. But it's not like Providence is an inexperienced team. Also, what's up, Shorty? How's it going? Gavin says, can I interest you in UConn minus 44.5? Honestly, yes. You can. We'll get to that game coming up pretty soon. Next game on the slate, though, is another game that I'm really interested in. So speaking of Wisconsin and Tennessee, the other team, the winner of that game, Tennessee, hosts Wofford today. Anybody who was just watching the surgical stream saw me pitch Wofford plus 31.5 on the surgical stream about, I don't know, half an hour ago. Also, yeah, ESPN Bet is up as of, I think, like 2 hours ago. But I really like the look of this Wofford team in this spot right here. So Wofford is a team that has no real, like, go-to scorer, but a lot of guys who can get a bucket here and a bucket there. They had 8 double-digit scores in their last game against High Point, but nobody scored more than 20, which means that just, like, one single impact perimeter defender a la Santiago Vescovi is not going to have as much of an impact here as he might against a team that relies on a guy to go and score 25. So Wofford, they have, like, everybody can shoot, everybody can score a little bit. They're a team that definitely lacks size inside, but again, Tennessee's not really a team that's built to exploit that. And Tennessee also just plays really slow. So I think, again, it's just against a team that can score, that won't, and there won't just be like a billion possessions here for Tennessee to push this lead. Give me Wofford. Not Wofford. Wofford. Plus 31.5. And this is a bet. I'm on this. I'd be more worried about Connect. Dude is a walking bucket. Yeah, Connect is a walking bucket for sure. But I mean, Connect, like, again, this is a guy, I love Connect. He's a great player. I'm not trying to, like, shit talk Northern Colorado here, Ben, if you're still listening. But he's a guy who's transferred in from Northern Colorado, right? He's a guy who is playing in a conference that is worse than Wofford's conference last year. He's for sure a bucket. His bucketness translates into the SEC. He's not a reason that this should be a 30-point spread. Like, if this is 20 points, I'm off at 31. Love it. Davis is up 10-4. Okay, yeah, GG's. We're chucked. Also, Ben, I need to know your thoughts on Northern Colorado, Colorado State today. Speaking of the real UNC, I skipped over that game and said defer to Ben on my notes. And if you're not going to be here, then we need to know. I need to know. He was just the SEC Player of the Week. That's true. Over. Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking. I know Javon's on that also. So let's just go ahead and put that up here. CSU, I can't type. Over 155. And this is, I'm just going to call this one Ben. This is what happens to me when Ben doesn't make a schedule. I'm so late. The college basketball bad scheduling is, I think, largely my responsibility. It's so tough to know because, like, there's 10 games some days and then the morning stream can work. But when there's 80 games like there are today, I just, like, can't be ready by 9:30 a.m. to have, like, people in chat say, like, hey, can you talk about the Brown and New Hampshire game? And then me be able to talk about it for 30 seconds. Like, I just can't have that prepped at this point in the season by 9:30. So we have to do the afternoon streams. Also, Jax, he just added Wofford plus 40.5 to the lay. Let's go. Yeah, and Baby makes the schedule. That is true. Okay, Jay Smitty with a channel point redemption to talk about Toledo and Wright Toledo and Wright State. This is a pretty damn good mid-major battle. Also, Scrunch, you're not that late. We've talked about, like, 4 games so far. This is interesting. So the total in this game is one of a couple today that is just absolutely massive. It's up to it's up to 168.5. It was like 166.5 even earlier this morning. Both of these teams are going to push tempo. They're not like crazy tempo like the other game in the mid 160s, which is the Queens and High Point game. I think that is a better over bet than this game. I think I agree with Heisenberg. I think I like Toledo in this spot. So let me get my almanac pages up. And see where we're at. So yeah, Toledo definitely lost several players off of last year's team. I mean, Ray J. Dennis is gone, Cedric Miller is gone, JT Shoemate is gone. I mean, that was probably it was definitely their three best players last year. All averaged 16 or more points a game. And they don't really bring anybody in, just a couple freshmen. But there's like so many other good players on this team. I'm a little bit concerned that Wright State is slightly undervalued here, just with the market maybe not completely coming around to the fact that Holden is back in town after his kind of off year at Ohio State. But definitely thinking Toledo and definitely thinking the over. So what do you guys think, chat? Is it the over or is it Toledo or is it neither? Scrunch says stayed away and then says, oh, wait, I took the over. Yeah, so let's take a look. So Toledo so far, and again, we need to take these numbers with a little bit of salt. 190 in tempo. Wright State, 48 in tempo, but both teams are like way better offensively than defensively. So I don't love a number this high with tempo that should be a little middling. So I think give me Toledo plus 2.5 as a lean in this one. And then Jay Thompson redeemed something. What do you want me to talk about? I will jump around to whatever game you want. Otherwise, I'm just going to start going back to chronological order while we wait for that. Bucknell and LaSalle. I want nothing to do with that game. Bucknell looks terrible. LaSalle also doesn't really have a lot of size, though. Just have like two small teams with a spread of like 11.5. That's just full Mima territory in either direction. So staying the hell away from Bucknell and LaSalle. Mississippi Valley State and UConn. Biggest spread that we've seen all season. 45, 45.5, 46 even, depending on where we look. Kind of crazy. It feels dirty. Give me UConn. I'm not scared of big numbers in college basketball when you have the right combination of good team and bad team and tempo. And I think that we have all of that here. Yeah, Dilly Dill with the real POD, which is UConn ML. UConn ML. That should hit. But yeah, give me UConn. Mississippi Valley State is just so bad. I mean, they're ranked at the literal bottom of KenPom right now, which you definitely need to take with a grain of salt this early in the season. But there's just like nothing to be excited about with that team. UConn has already played two other like really, really, really bad teams, but both teams that are better than Mississippi Valley State. They beat Stonehill by 40. They beat Northern Arizona by 43. So I don't think this is going to be like a 60-point game or anything like that. But it really does feel like, I mean, I think this was like 42 earlier, which was a much better number than 45.5. And that might actually even change this from like a bet to a lean for me. Also, I think Scrunch makes a great point. It says, don't hate the over here. UConn might put up 100 by themselves. Yeah, my concern with that is just the tempo. Mississippi Valley State, they know that they suck. They play slow. And UConn for sure is also like not the fastest team. I mean, they definitely sped up a little bit recently. But it's just a question of is this game 100-40? Is this game 90-60? Is this game like 100-60? In which case, I mean, maybe you're leaning spread, maybe you're leaning total. But the one thing that I feel pretty comfortable about is UConn scoring. So actually, can we bet like a team total on UConn? We have to be able to do somewhere. But yeah, I think I'll take UConn minus 45 as a lean. And I think with this number sitting at like 42 overnight, it was a much better number than this 45 or 46. 96.5 team total on DraftKings. Jesus, that's just so many points. All right. Actually, let's think about this a little more. So do we want the over? Because like I'm not betting UConn at 45.5, which is where I can grab it. I'm more inclined to bet the over. So let's actually change this, and we'll take UConn and MVSU over 147.5 is a lean. I think I'm more inclined to bet this total than the spread. All right, and then so Jay Thompson said hop to the USC game for the Channel Point redemption. So USC are hosting Cal State Irvine. 12.5 point favorites, total in that one sitting at 149.5. This is, I believe, the absolute last game of the day. USC, what do we make of USC? So, I mean, like a nice win over Kansas State, which is a team that they're not as good as they were last year. And then a big win over Bakersfield, I believe covering a big spread there. Irvine, been a little all over the place, lost to San Jose State, and then knocked off a New Mexico State team that is one of the biggest wild cards in the country so far this year. This is a game I didn't really have a ton of thoughts on. I mean, USC is just like a very, very okay major conference team. I mean, they're a good team, not a great team. Irvine has guys who can like score in the paint, but not like the best shooters. They do have a decent amount of size. Just want to see Bronny play. Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I don't have anything in this game. USC definitely can push some pace from time to time. I don't think Irvine is a particularly fast team. Oh, actually no, Irvine is 34 in pace. So then maybe the over is a good look. But yeah, I don't have any even leans in this, but yeah, pace does look like it can be fine for the over. What's up, Payaga says, do you want to see the 4-legger I hit sponsored by G Unit? Sure. What was the G Unit 4-legger? With some Mima owners. Where do you see pace and stuff? KenPom. The adjusted tempo column in KenPom. Also, Payaga got sniped by Nightbot. Let's take a look at this. So, Payaga, you had Penn plus the points. That was a great bet. VMI, nice. Ryder plus the points. Oh, yeah, you had 14.5. I was on Nebraska minus 14. And then SIUE. Yeah. That's, yeah, you got hella Mima on your side with Ryder and Sui. That is for damn sure. Yeah, Bart Torvik has it too. Just like anything like that has it. But yeah, so nothing for me in the USC game. Duke and Michigan State, definitely one of the games of the day. Not a game I have any interest in touching. I had the wrong read on Duke in their game against Arizona. Arizona was able to bully them around inside a little bit more than I thought that they were. Definitely leaned Duke there and was wrong. Michigan State been a very weird team in their first two games. I mean, they're 2 for 32 from 3. Of course, they're not that bad. Nobody's that bad. Like you can send the worst, most awkward center in college basketball, and he'll go better than 2 for 32 from 3. Like everybody in chat can go 2 of 32 from 3. Like nobody is that bad. So like for that reason, I just don't know what to expect out of Michigan State. I mean I don't want to touch this game. I know that a lot of people like Michigan State here, but I don't want to fuck with it. I'm staying away. Eastern Michigan and Florida Atlantic. This is a really interesting game. This number's also moved quite a bit. Let's take a look at where we're at. So we're up to 27 and a half points. I think FanDuel actually has 26 and a half here for FAU. Over-under sitting at 148 and a half. This Eastern Michigan team, I don't think is very good. They got throttled by Butler in their first game. I was on Butler there. Also, Butler for sure, early season wagon. Maybe that was more because Butler is just that good than because Eastern Michigan is just that bad. They also knocked off Georgia Southern. Eastern Michigan did in their second game. I don't think Georgia Southern's a great team, but that is a win. And Georgia Southern just couldn't score in that game. So against an FAU team, obviously Final Four team from last year, we know they're good. It was very, very fake sharp on Loyola Chicago in FAU's first game. I don't think FAU has played a D1 team since then. Yeah, that's their only game that they've played so far this year. I kind of lean FAU to cover just because Florida Atlantic's only win condition is, or not Florida Atlantic, Eastern Michigan's only win condition is their opponent just being terrible, and FAU's not terrible. It's just so many points. So many points. So I'm not going to put it up. If I had to bet it, it would be FAU. But I don't. Mercer and Morehead State. So Mercer has a phenomenal paint presence. Name is Jalen McCreary. Averaged 15 points a game last year, averaging 16 so far this year. He's going to get his. He's going to score. He's going to rebound. He's going to defend inside. They don't really have any secondary scoring options. Morehead also doesn't really have any good scoring options. Their presumed top scorer coming into the season is out for the year. They've actually exceeded expectations, I would say, a little bit through their first couple games. Despite all of that, they maybe not. They barely didn't cover against Purdue. They didn't cover against Alabama either. It could be the under in this game just because we have two slow teams that can't really score. It's a low number though. It's down at 130 and a half. I think that this was a little bit higher earlier on. Yeah, this opened at 136 and a half. And I think it was even 133 and a half when I was doing my research earlier. So I can't endorse this at 130 and a half, but the under would be the lean. Georgia Southern and Jacksonville. Next game on the slate. This is another game where we've got a couple kind of slow, solid defensively teams that don't really have great scoring options, and a correspondingly low total. So we're sitting at 128 right now. This also opened up a little bit higher, not as high, 129 and a half, 130 was the opener here. But this is another spot where I think I kind of like the under. Jacksonville has always been a team that has just grind the game down to a halt. They are 339 in tempo and more than 100 spots better defensively than offensively. Georgia Southern is also another team that's almost 100 spots better defensively than offensively in KenPom ratings. They're also in the 250s in tempo. Neither team has a really great go-to scorer, good rebounders, just athletic guys on the wings. I kind of like the under here. I'm going to put that down as a lean. Also, what's up, D-Smalls? How's it going? No, Crispy, I don't underestimate your inabilities. I overestimate your abilities. Is that different? I don't know. Bellarmine and Chattanooga in a very interesting game, I think. So, had leans, or I guess one lean and one bet in that big stream on Friday on the overs. for both of these teams. Bellarmine against Kansas State was free. Chattanooga against Louisville also hit, but was a lot sketchier. Both of these teams are teams that are kind of slow, especially Bellarmine. But Bellarmine is just so good on offense. So I think Bellarmine scores. Oops. And I think Chattanooga can also kind of score. I mean, they're a little bit faster, not like as great offensively as Bellarmine is relative to their defense. Chattanooga is definitely the better team overall. I was just a little bit disappointed, I guess, to see this number at where it was at. Or maybe it actually might have dropped a little bit, or I'm misremembering it. So we're looking at like 143 right now. Yeah, this was at like 148.5 yesterday. Yeah, so this is dropping. Because I was kind of thinking about the over, just anticipating both of these teams going and shooting well, even though it's going to be a kind of slow game. Although with the line moving down so much, I don't think I can do it. If I'm betting a spread, it's probably Bellarmine here. I see George says like Chattanooga, line's moving towards Bellarmine. Yeah, I can't get in on Bellarmine at 4.5. Bellarmine was kind of bad last year, but they were a team that had like turned over their entire roster. And now with a lot of continuity this year, I'm expecting a lot of improvement out of Bellarmine. But Chattanooga is kind of the same deal also. So I'll put down the Bellarmine Chattanooga over as a lean. I doubt that I'm going to bet it. Also, can we get an update on the game in progress? Digjet says, Nick, you said no bet on Duke, Michigan State. No lean for me. I have no fucking clue what's going to happen in that game. There are two teams that I have a bad read on. 16-19. Thank you. I love Dwarfs 69. You and Noah should go hang out. Davis is up. Okay, that's fine. My ear is itchy. Crispy redeemed tail my straight bet. Oh boy. Don't tell me to bet Wisconsin. Duke minus 3.5. All right, I'll bet Duke. And I'm taking that channel point redemption off the board as soon as I remember to do it, because every single time it loses, which means Duke is caked. Okay. IUPUI and Indiana State. How about IUPUI getting an outright win as underdogs against Valpo in their last game? Is IUPUI back? I honestly, yeah. I kind of think IUPUI is a little bit back. They're, I mean, like what are they back to? They suck, right? They're still not a good team. But they're definitely not like the worst team in college basketball anymore, like they were for a couple of years. They beat Valpo. Valpo sucks. We have an interesting opportunity to fade Valpo that we'll get to a little bit later on. But yeah, I don't think that this Indiana State team is particularly great. They lose a lot of talent from last year, and this is just a massive spread in a game that IUPUI for sure is going to try and slow down. I mean, Indiana State does run a little bit faster, but with so much roster turnover from last year, they lose Courvoisier, McCauley. They lose Cooper Neese, I believe, is gone. Yeah, Cameron Henry is gone. Bring in some pretty low-level transfers. I mean, I guess a guy who played 30 minutes at Southern Indiana, guy who played 18 minutes at South Florida, guy who played 32 minutes at Niagara. I mean, okay, those are all fine transfers. But I don't know. I kind of want to just take IUPUI plus 17.5 here. I was too scared to even put them up as a lean last time. We'll take it as a lean here. Sketchy. So sketchy. All right. Lipscomb and Tennessee Tech. This is a kind of weird spread, if we're being honest. Let me double check, make sure we know where we're at. Yeah, this is Lipscomb -1, -1.5 right now. which is actually moving in Tennessee Tech's favor. It was like 2.5, and I thought it was sketchy. I thought it was low at 2.5. So we know that Jacob Ognisevich, Lipscomb's best player, has missed the first couple games of the season. I think he's still going to be out today. But Tennessee Tech just like can't shoot. They don't have a lot of offense. Lipscomb can shoot. They can score the ball. I'm a little bit sketched in this spot. It kind of feels like I might be trapping myself into a similar play as the North Florida play that I was on yesterday, which obviously was I made it for basically the same exact reasons that I like Lipscomb here. And then North Florida was just dead on arrival. So don't know that I'm actually going to fire them up, but give me Lipscomb -1.5 as a lean here. I also got burned betting against Tennessee Tech in their second game. I was on Murray State, and Murray State was up big. We needed Murray State -12. They were up 19, more than halfway through the second half, and Tennessee Tech just like came back late. So I think Tennessee Tech is being a little overrated here. I do like Lipscomb. Okay, Temple and Drexel. Oh, we got A. Turner, W Inside Info. Went to Lipscomb, lots of new guys this year. With Ognisevich out, will still be tough. Yeah, Lipscomb has been one of my favorite teams to bet on the last couple of years. I mean, they were kind of shit last year, but Asan Asadullah was like literally one of my favorite players in all of college basketball. Just silky smooth passing big man. He's obviously has graduated now though, and kind of got phased out of the team a little bit last year, which was weird. But he was so good for a couple of years, so good. ESPN Bet doesn't let you count as a new user. L. I understand why they do it, because I mean it's probably a several $1 million decision to not let you count as a new user, but still L. Yeah, Asadullah was a beast. So much fun to watch. New here, Marquette or Illinois. Haven't gotten to that game yet. I will say though, I really like Marquette. I would love to see if Tyler Kolek is playing. He is listed as questionable. If anybody actually can go find some injury news on Tyler Kolek, let me know. I'm not super impressed with Illinois. I think I'm very probably even with Kolek out, going to be happy to fire up Marquette as dogs in this spot, even on the road. But would love to know. I mean, even just for the sake of getting the best number that we can, if Kolek is in or out. But the lean is definitely going to be Marquette. I just don't trust Illinois' anything really. ESPN having a book. Oh yeah, I don't like it at all, Heisenberg. I don't like media owning the sports books. I think that there's a lot of potential for conflict of interest in that. Okay, so let me actually go ahead and check out where the Marquette line is at. But yeah, I just think that this Marquette team is too good, even without Kolek. We'll take Marquette +2. L:"een. W typing. Got to get the free $200 promo. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I just think Marquette out-talents them, out-coaches them, out-everything's them. I know it's at Illinois, but give me just the more talented team in Marquette. All right, what do we got next? Temple and Drexel. So Drexel, by the way, Drexel. Basically all of their roster coming back from last year. They have a lot of really good players, honestly. They been a bit of a weird start for them. They lost at LaSalle as underdogs. They lost, or they as a favorite. They beat Winthrop as an underdog. 2 close games. They've been a kind of shit 3-point shooting team. Temple brought in a new coach. They have like an entirely new roster. They've covered both of their games so far against 2 pretty bad teams in Maryland Eastern Shore and Navy. I like to research these games before I know what the lines are, so I can kind of say in my head, this is kind of where I want this team or this total. I was really hoping to get Drexel at like plus 4.5 or something. But Drexel's favored by 3.5 here. So I'm just out on this game. I don't want to take Temple at that number, but definitely can't endorse Drexel as the favorite. I was more interested in buying in a little bit low on Drexel before a breakout game. But at minus 3.5, I can't do it. Okay, next up, St. Francis, PA, and Penn State. So we know that SFPA, one of the worst teams in college basketball this year. KenPom currently has them sitting at a robust 359th out of 362 teams. And for a team that bad taking on a power conference team, a couple games into the year, 30.5 points. It's just not that big of a spread. So there's definitely a lot of instinct, I guess, reason like that to take Penn State here. I honestly just don't know that I trust Penn State to come out and score enough to cover a number this big. Yeah, I mean, line opened at like 25.5. SFPA is a team that everyone's rushing to go fade. I don't like doing it at this number, at 30.5. I mean, Penn State, again, Mike Rhodes in as the new coach. For a power conference team, I don't think that they're like particularly great. They're a better defensive team than an offensive team. They have like some talent, but not like tons and tons and tons of talent. And again, like comparing this to the UCLA game, we bet UCLA at like basically the same number against SFPA, and you're telling me now we have to bet Penn State at that number? And UCLA got like the back, like Mima busted open the back door with like 5 seconds left. So I really, really don't like the look on Penn State. I honestly think if I have to bet at this number, I'm probably taking St. Francis, which I hate. I'm not putting that down as a lean though, just because like again, SFPA is so bad. I just don't think Penn State is talented enough at scoring and or fast enough. Like you need a combination of those two things, right? You need to be able to have enough possessions and be more efficient by a margin than your opponent to put 30 points into them consistently. And I just don't think Penn State is the kind of team to do that here. So next game, we got Bowling Green and Oakland. This is a really interesting game. So Oakland, 2 really, really, really good games that they've played so far, I think. They lost to Ohio State by only 6 points. They lost to Illinois by only 11 points. That was a cover by 10-plus points in both games. Bowling Green also, I mean, is 2-0. I guess Oakland is 0-2. But Bowling Green, 2-0 against 2 bad teams. They're not great from 3. I lean Oakland. I was looking for some injury news, though, that I couldn't find, which was Rocket Watts, point guard for Oklahoma, for Oakland. Also, sorry, it's just somebody shit talked me on Twitter. I love this. Like, ball, Nick. Nice pick of the Jacks. Thanks, Lumberjack Larry. Oh, that wasn't a shit talk. I guess I took 2 different teams that were the Jacks. One of them was a shit wager. One of them was a great wager. He was complimenting me. I took the Jack Rabbits and the Lumberjacks. And here I am, just instantly rushing to think the worst of people. Gotta be better, Nick. Okay. But yeah, so Rocket Watts played only 5 minutes against Bowling Green. I don't know if he's hurt. I couldn't find anything. He wasn't in foul trouble. So if Rocket Watts is out, I want nothing to do with Oakland, and I want nothing to do with this entire game. If Rocket Watts is playing, I definitely like the look on Oakland. I literally have no clue. Oakland is sitting at 2.5-point favorites here. So yeah, I'm just out. To be fair, Twitter does breed toxicity. The only other comment I got on that post was somebody being like actually talking shit. Like, although I always respond with kindness when people talk shit, unless they're like a repeat offender and they're just being a dick. But I think the sports betting space needs all of the kindness and positivity it can get. So I try and respond nicely to people who shit talk me. Like, that was a shit wager. Be like, yep. I guess that's not like kind, but you know what I mean. Okay. So I think staying away from this Bowling Green and Oakland game, Colgate and Syracuse. This is a super, super, super interesting game. This is one of the games that I was really, really hoping to talk to Ben about. I don't know if Ben is here. Oh, and sorry, yeah. Somebody asked about FAU. Yeah, we did talk FAU. It's just, I like FAU. It's just so many points. It's so many points. So Syracuse and Colgate. Syracuse, 6.5 point favorites. Over under sitting at like 158.5. This is a game that gets played pretty much every year, or at least the last 2 years. Colgate and Syracuse have played each other. Colgate has won outright both times. And I think that in those games, there was like a very significant like basketball level matchup advantage that Colgate had, which was the fact that they're like a phenomenal 3-point shooting team against Syracuse's zone. So now that Syracuse is playing a lot of man-to-man, I don't know that Colgate has that same edge. And I also just don't know that we're going to see as many threes drop into the hoop. So I know Colgate shoots the hell out of the ball. I know Syracuse plays fast and also shoots well. I kind of like the under here. So let's take a look at some tempo numbers. So Syracuse is 99 in tempo. Colgate is 162 in tempo. And we're putting this total at like 160. I don't know. I mean, of course, there's every risk in the world of this just turning into a 3-point shooting contest. But I think that this is priced like we're going to see 185 like we did 2 years ago in this matchup. So give me Colgate, Syracuse, under 158.5 as a lean. Or as a 9 lean, as my typo would indicate. Okay. But yeah, that's definitely the lean here. This is one that feels like I'm going to put it up as a lean. It's going to get swept under the rug, and it's going to finish on like 140. Wagner and Rhode Island. The only thing I said for this game was, don't want to deal with it. Kind of like Rhode Island, but at that number, not really. Wagner's a big question mark for me. Queens and High Point. A lot of talk about the over in this game on BTL earlier. I like it. I'm in for it. So we're seeing like 167.5 right now on FanDuel, 166.5 on DraftKings. I love it. We've got two teams that fly up and down the court. Don't play a licky defense. Shoot the hell out of the ball. The other thing that I really like is High Point gets to the free throw line like crazy. They played one game against Wofford so far. They shot 48 free throws in one game. That's insane. That's a Crabs play. I don't care if it's a Crabs play or not. I know some people like to say, "Oh, Crabs is on this. Let me tail this." I know some people like to say, probably even more people like to say, "Oh, Crabs is on this. Let me fade it." If Crabs has good reasoning on a play, I'm in. If I don't like Crabs' reasoning, then I just ignore it. This was something that I had on my lean sheet independently of Crabs. I liked his reasoning for it. I liked it for the same reasons that he had. And when that happens, I mean, Crabs, good friend of the program. We've had him on many, many, many shows over the years. When we align on stuff, it's generally a very good look. So give me Queens and High point over 167.5. I'm going to be on this. I'm going to be on this. It really bothers me that Queen's abbreviation is QUOC. You start calling them Quack. We got Quack and High Point. No, let's not do that. Let's not make that a thing. All right. But yeah, no, I like that. Northeastern and Harvard, staying away, not touching it. Hofstra and George Washington. Really like this game. So Hofstra lost their best player from last year, Aaron Estrada. I think he's in Alabama now. Is that right? Also, anyone else not see Queens on FanDuel? I guess that wouldn't be a Virginia issue for you because both of these are Carolina teams. I don't know. They might just not be there. But yeah, so Aaron Estrada is gone from Hofstra. They're still an excellent team. So George Washington returns a lot from last year. James Bishop, their point guard, is an amazing scorer, but just not a shooter. Guy who wants to get to the rim. I think that assuming this didn't move since earlier today, which it actually, oh god, it did. Okay, I was gonna say this was wrong team favored because we were looking at -3 for George Washington at one point, and I was like, that's a crazy number. That's a crazy number. So now we're more into pick'em territory. In this game, we can grab Hofstra ML plus 100, which I think I am pretty cool with. I like the look on Hofstra here a lot. I don't think George Washington has enough shooting to keep up. And I will be on this for sure. Faux show. All right. Sacred Heart and Holy Cross, I have no idea. Toledo and Wright State, we talked about this one already. Kind of thinking about Toledo, kind of thinking about the over. I have Toledo up as a lean. I think it's more likely that Toledo wins a slightly lower scoring game than Wright State covering a super high game. Stonehill and St. Joe's is an interesting game. Max Zagorowski, younger brother of Marcus Zagorowski, former Creighton great, is a phenomenal player on Stonehill. I don't know why he's on Stonehill, but he is. The rest of the team is rough. They lost by 45 to George Washington. They lost by 40 to UConn. They beat Army for whatever the hell that's worth. I like this St. Joe's team. I had them to cover against Penn as one of my two leans in that game. Of course, ended up betting the over instead, which did not come close to hitting. I just don't know that I can trust St. Joe's to cover close to 20 points in this game. Spread is currently sitting at 18 and a half. It's just a couple too many points for me. Florida A&M and Florida. Team that we love to fade. Florida A&M. We've done it. How many times this year have we faded Florida A&M? Twice. We took Creighton against Florida A&M. Easy cover. We took Nebraska against Florida A&M. Definitely a sketchier cover. Heisenberg got in early, 27.5. He was even telling me 27.5 last night, which I should have just bet it last night because I knew I was going to bet it at whatever number. It's at 33.5 now. So WCLV. It's 34.5 now. Oh, no, Barstool has, or I guess the artist formerly known as Barstool has 33.5 still. Even up to 35.5 on DK. Florida A&M is just so bad. I guess the question is, does Florida play quite fast enough and efficiently enough offensively to cover this? And I think we're pushing it here at this number. But it's got to be Florida minus 34.5 is a lean. If it was down at 30, it's an insta bet for me. At 34.5, I'm probably still going to take it. But we'll see. What's up, 71 Gaming says, what's y'all's favorite bet? The thing that I pitched on the surgical stream was Wofford plus 31.5. I don't want to declare an official POD before working through the whole slate on the stream, though. All right, Jacksonville State and West Virginia. So West Virginia, we know there was a ton of controversy in the offseason with Bob Huggins and drunk driving, and they fired him, and then he was like, no, you didn't fire me. I'm still employed by you. And then I was like, no, you're not. And then they lost their whole team. They brought in a bunch of transfers. Kind of a shit show. A lot of guys that they brought in did not get waivers to play. So they're a very shallow team right now. They played 36 bench minutes against Missouri State. They played 32 bench minutes against Monmouth. Only 3 guys coming off the bench. Only one of them playing like more than 5 minutes in each of those games. Which is a problem. Like the top end guys for West Virginia are definitely decent. I think it's, as weird as this is to say, kind of a bad matchup. I think this is a game where that depth is an issue for West Virginia. Because Jacksonville State, all they want to do this year is get to the free throw line. Their first game, they went 25 of 29 from the free throw line. In their second game, they went 28 of 32 from the free throw line. That's just like insane volume. And just they hit all the free throws. So against a team like West Virginia that's just lacking in depth, how I think that plays out is either A, people actually get in foul trouble. West Virginia has to play guys that they don't think are ready for minutes, or they don't even have the guys. And Jacksonville State keeps it close that way. Or they play kind of softer defense because they don't want to get in foul trouble, and Jacksonville State just gets slightly easier buckets. So I think that this is a really, really nice spot for Jacksonville State. We're getting +8, it looks like, as the best number right now. I like this a lot. I will be on this for sure. Jacksonville State +8. Yeah, no, nothing gets me riled up like college kids who can actually make their free throws. And yeah, again, we're getting it at a bad number right now. We tried last year doing college basketball streams late at night. Ben does do some late night streams, and he's much better at it than me. I found that doing the late night streams, actually doing a lot of the research on stream, really, really, really negatively affected my ROI. We were like getting better numbers on stuff, but finding the wrong spots. And it was not something that worked for me. So I'm happy personally to just be doing the content later in the afternoon when I have plenty of time to just go off stream and do all the research that I want to do, dive into everything immediately, and not like be rushing because, oh, this moved half a point on this book, we need to get it in now, when it may be it's just like not actually the play that we want to be on. But yeah, I like Jacksonville State. Oh man, Davis pulled away again a little bit going into the half. That's okay. Don't love it. Not ideal. But we'll see. Still got another half of basketball. All right. What do we got next? NC and Virginia. NC, another team that I think is on the fade list. We took Pitt against them in game 1. Again, Pitt is where I went to grad school. I hate betting on my own school. I also hate betting on UVA because fuck UVA. It's got to be UVA here. So NC has played 2 games so far this year. They gave up 100 to Pitt. They gave up 94 to UNC Greensboro. This is a game. So compare this at 30.5 to Penn State and SFPA at 30.5. Like, which 30.5 do you want? For me, it no doubt, this is the one that I want. NC A&T is just as bad. I mean, UVA plays slower than Penn State, but they're scoring, which is always kind of the issue for them. But yeah, give me UVA minus 30.5. I'm gonna be on this. This is a bet for me. Brown in New Hampshire. Brown's front court is excellent. They've played two pretty close games against Colgate and against Loyola Maryland, who are both pretty good teams. New Hampshire is staying away from that. Boston and Howard, going to be staying away from that one too. I think that there's maybe a little bit of extra juice on Howard because of the close game against Georgia Tech and the cover on the first day against Hampton. 9.5 is the spread, but I looked at least. It feels kind of correct. I'd maybe be interested in Howard closer to 6.5. Be interested in Boston, maybe more up like mid-teens. North Alabama and Mississippi State. Give me the dog. Give me North Alabama. Plus, let me double check the active line. 19 on DraftKings. Let's go. North Alabama plus 19. So we've got a North Alabama team that is not great, obviously, but they return a lot from last year. They can shoot the ball well. They have guys who can score. They're definitely outsized against Mississippi State. I just don't think that Mississippi State's I don't think their offense is good enough to consistently cover 19. And I think that North Alabama will just get some buckets. I just think this number's too big at 19. It feels kind of like the SIU play plus 19 yesterday. Just like slightly different reasons. So take that. UMass Lowell and Georgia Tech. Going to be staying away from this one. I still don't know what to make of Lowell. They were one of my favorite teams to bet on last year. Front court is still great with Koulibaly. They lose some of their top scoring guards. They played well against Dartmouth, but Dartmouth is shit. I want to see them play some good teams before I go back to saying they're a wagon. I don't know what to make of Georgia Tech right yet. And this number is kind of sketchy at 4.5. I was really actually surprised to see it there. I was like, wow, 4.5. But it also honestly feels kind of correct. So staying away from that. Next game on the list is Marquette, Illinois. We talked about that one already. Again, Tyler Kolek is hurt. We don't know if he's playing or not, or at least I don't know. If anybody does know for a fact if Kolek is playing, let me know. But the lean is Marquette in this game as an underdog, even if Kolek is out. Texas A&M and SMU. I've had bad reads on SMU twice already this year. I've lost on them covering a spread. I've lost on an over. So I'm going to be staying away from this game just for that reason. I do think that the spread is kind of fat in A&M's direction and would be inclined to bet SMU, but I'm not doing it. And I don't want to touch the total. South Alabama and Alabama, spreads at 19.5. That feels kind of correct to me. And no thoughts on the total. Prairie View A&M and Abilene Christian. So Prairie View played 2 games already this year. Covered them both as pretty heavy underdogs. Let me pull up the schedule to refresh on who those games were against. They played Seattle. On the road, they were 16.5-point dogs against Seattle, only lost by 11. And then they were 20.5-point dogs against Washington State, only lost by 18. So 2-0, or 2-0 at least against the spread for Prairie View A&M. Another kind of fat spread today on the road at Abilene Christian at 16.5. Again, keeping it within 18 against Washington State, keeping it within 11 against Seattle. I don't think Seattle's like that great this year. It just feels like a lot of points. So Abilene Christian is a pretty good defensive team. They beat Oklahoma State, which is why I think that the spread is so high. And then lost, didn't cover against NC State. That game pushed. That was the one push that we had in the stream on Friday, was the under in that game. I kind of like Prairie View to cover the 16.5. I also think that the under in this game is a pretty reasonable look. So Abilene Christian's had some problems scoring. I mean, again, two pretty solid teams, at least defensively, in NC State and Oklahoma State that they've played so far. They've put up exactly 64 each time. Prairie View's also been scoring in the 60s, 60 against Seattle, 65 against Washington State. It could be the under at 142.5. I'm a little worried about free throws. It could be Prairie View A&M. I think I'm going to say, as my lean here, is the under. I don't know if I'm going to actually get there on betting this game. We've got Alcorn State and Arkansas State. The only thing I wrote down was fuck this game. UNC Greensboro and Vanderbilt. I was really hoping to get Greensboro at like plus 4.5, and I think they might have even opened up at plus 4.5. But with this number where it's at now, at like Vanderbilt -1, I just can't do it. I don't think that the Vanderbilt team is like as bad as a team that's like should be consistently losing to Presbyterian. I just don't want to take Greensboro here on the road as a pick'em. At plus 4.5, I would have been in. On the pick'em, I'm out. 1 second. Been talking so much, I just like didn't drink any of my coffee. Yeah, Greensboro seems very popular today. I know Javon's on it, and I like the reasoning. I just feel like I just don't like this number. I feel like Greensboro might be a little bit fake sharp today. At 1, it feels like a game where 4.5 or 5. I'm all in on Greensboro. I just can't do it at a pick'em. Detroit and Ole Miss. So Detroit fucking sucks. They're terrible. Ole Miss can't score. I don't know that I trust Ole Miss to actually cover 23.5. In fact, I know that I don't trust Ole Miss to cover 23.5. I really hope that Detroit keeps this game close so that we get a better number just fading them in their next game. That's what I want here. Western Kentucky and Murray State. Don't really know what to make of Western Kentucky. They have a new head coach, turned over their entire roster. I think they have like one guy back from last year, a bunch of JUCO players. Oh no, and 2 power conference transfers. I mean, maybe it's Murray State here. They let me down in their last game against Tennessee Tech. So I have, I guess, some trust issues with Murray State. And that game was very much a bet against Tennessee Tech as opposed to on Murray State. This is another spot where I was kind of hoping to get Murray State as an underdog, get like plus 2.5 or something. I can't do it at minus 1.5. What happened to that guy they invented a tournament for? I have no idea what you're talking about, Crispy. If you're talking about like Antoine Davis from last year, who was going to break just like the points record, then I think he just like they didn't get into the postseason, or maybe they did and he still didn't break it. If you're talking about something else, I don't know what you're talking about. Green Bay and Valpo. Moose shit, moose piss, moose vomit game of the day. Staying the hell away. Cal State Northridge and Chicago State. Runner up. Moose bodily fluid game of the day. Staying away from that one too. Oh yeah, the guy on Detroit. Yeah, that was Antoine Davis. He didn't break the record. Colorado State, Northern Colorado. Ben likes the over. And if Ben likes it, I like it. I know Javon likes it too. So multiple people that I trust in this game on the over. So that'll be the lean there. Also, Northern Colorado, I was looking at their team page. They brought in a transfer whose name is St. Thomas. And I am just irrationally upset that he did not transfer to St. Thomas. He transferred to Northern Colorado. Why couldn't we have St. Thomas, the player, on St. Thomas? So for that reason, I'm rooting for Colorado State, just because I want St. Thomas to have a bad time and transfer to St. Thomas. All right. Tarleton State and Bradley. I saw that we had somebody not too long ago say Bradley minus 9.5 here. And yeah, Crispy, Green Bay sucks. They're terrible. Valpo's also bad. Valpo, again, is the team that just lost to IUPUI. Tarleton State and Bradley. So Tarleton brings back like a lot of good wings. Maybe not like the best scorers. They played FIU in their first game, and I was not. I don't know. I guess I got red flags with their scoring distribution. They had 4 double-digit scorers in that game, and 6 total points from the rest of the team. FIU sucks. They kind of got hot against Miami, and Miami turned the ball over too many times. In my rat shit wager yesterday on Miami. FIU's still not a good team. So the fact that we have a Bradley team that won like a program record almost in games last year. I think they tied their record in conference. I don't know if 25 wins is an overall program record. Returns a lot of good players. They lose some players for sure. It's just like a good defensive team against a team that doesn't look like it has a lot of scoring diversity. I like the under in this spot. So Bradley, their 2 games, both went to OT. They were both under in OT and then went over during overtime. Tarleton's also a team that's just much better defensively than offensively. This feels like a sneaky under to me. Let me go check where this number is at. 133.5 right now. Yeah, that seems good to me. I don't think it's really moved at all. FIU was pressing them the whole game. Yeah. There's no reason that Miami should be turning the ball over so much against a team like that. But give me Tarleton and Bradley under 133.5 is a lean here. And yeah, I also love me some sneaky, gross mid-major unders. Texas State and Oklahoma. I don't know what to make of this game. I mean, it might be Texas State plus the points, but they have like issues scoring. I'm not like super impressed with Oklahoma. They have 2 pretty big wins so far, but both against 2 pretty bad teams. Numbers at 16, probably staying away from that. UTSA and Lamar. So UTSA is minus 1-ish here. Also, Dadbod, the under in that North Alabama game. So I like North Alabama to cover. Definitely wouldn't hate the under either. And I think if North Alabama covers, it probably also goes under. Did North Texas fire their coach? No, their coach is at Texas Tech now. He got a promo, so he's at Texas Tech. Thanks for getting me through the last hour of work. Hey, anytime. Love to see it. And again, thank you to everybody for being here, for hanging out. Appreciate that all the time. Okay, so UTSA and Lamar. We got like -1 for UTSA. Lamar, I lost betting against Lamar in their last game against SMU. That was the game where SMU was kind of on the back-to-back of a doubleheader. Lamar was not, and they kind of just tired out a little bit. UTSA is like definitely the better team here. And I kind of think that Lamar is being overvalued due to the that cover against SMU. But again, SMU was kind of on the tail end of a back-to-back. So I'm going to put UTSA minus, I guess there's -1s available as a lean. And yeah, he got a promotion for that, Chris. But yeah, absolutely, he won the NIT. He won games in the NCAA tournament in years before that. It's slow basketball, but it's winning basketball. Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna take like Long Island's coach and promote him instead? Just fly up and down the court and get blown out every game? No. The goal is to win. Yeah, why does it feel like favorites are killing underdogs this year? They definitely are. I think it's been, I don't know the exact numbers, but I do think it's been a pretty good year so far just to be betting on favorites. Although I think that we're getting into the spot of the year. It feels like it's like this for like the first game or two for every team where it's like in the NFL too. They're just scared a little bit to make massive spreads, which is why I've been betting so many massive favorites. But now you see me today. I have some still, but I have like a plus 130. I have a plus 31.5. I have a plus 19 on my board. I have a plus 17.5. I think we're kind of getting to the point where there's maybe a little overreaction where everybody's like, oh, all the favorites are covering. Let's and the spreads just get too big. And a lot of these I'm like hesitant on. Like I have a couple 30-point spreads here. Like Florida minus 34.5. I'm like kind of scared to bet it at that number. Virginia at 30.5. I think that's still fine. What else do we have? I think that's it as far as the big spreads go. All right. So next game. Oh, speaking of bigger spreads, Western Michigan and Northwestern. Oh yeah, and UConn at 44.5. Yeah, that's a big spread. That's as big as it'll ever get. Western Michigan and Northwestern. So Western Michigan played 2 games so far. I think they lost them both. But they played 2 pretty decent teams close in Georgia State and North Dakota State. Western Michigan was like not a good team last year. I think that they're going to be a little better this year. This spread is massive. It's like 23, even 23.5 on DraftKings for a Northwestern team that just like doesn't play fast. They beat Dayton by 5. They beat a kind of terrible Binghamton team by 11. They haven't been up by more than 11 in either of those 2 games. I think that this is another spot where we're just getting value, taking the underdog here. This number is just too big. How does Northwestern win by 24 points? They're slow. They don't have great shooters. Boo Buie is a good point guard, sure, but like it's just like not a super talented team. It's like a very mid power conference team. Davis up 11 now. Don't love that. But give me Western Michigan here for sure. As a lean. I see Gavin says Northwestern lean. I don't think Northwestern has the firepower. TJ says talk about UNC Greensboro. So we talked about that one pretty recently. The TLDR is I would have been very interested in Greensboro at like plus 4.5. Is kind of the number that I put it. Like, okay, I will happily put some money on this at that number. At like plus 1, I don't think I can do it. I can't get down with it at plus 1. It's just not enough points, especially at Vanderbilt. I think it moving that far is a little bit of an overreaction to Vanderbilt's loss against Presbyterian. And yeah, Kaprizov asked about the Providence game. Yeah, I lean Providence to win that one for sure. Okay, so we've got maybe like 10 games left to go through. Don't have a lot in these. UT Rio Grande Valley and TCU. Maybe the over. Rio Grande Valley plays very fast. It's a high number. UIC, Illinois, Chicago, or it's the same team twice. UIC and Loyola Chicago, staying away from that one. Milwaukee and Colorado. Milwaukee brings back some good pieces. Colorado's good. It's a lot of points. Staying away from that one too. I also lead Marquette, Kaprizov in Illinois, and Marquette. That lean should be up there somewhere. It's like on the third row towards the left. It's just like a little bit of a weird matchup where you have a team that pushes pace against a defensive juggernaut. So I have no clue what's going to happen. South Dakota and DePaul also staying away from this one. Just like a lot of unproven pieces on South Dakota. They played a good first game. Don't really like anything here. I'm gonna get through the rest of the games and then I'll hop into some more recap stuff. If there's leans up on the screen, Kaprizov, if I have leans in games, they'll be up there. I know it's a bit of a mess with the massive slate. But I have nothing in that one. Southern Utah and Utah State. So Utah State, full roster turnover from last year. They bring in Danny Sprinkle as their head coach, who, in addition to having an amazing name, was the head coach for Montana State for a bunch of years. When I say a bunch, I think I mean 4, which isn't like actually that bunchy. But built a pretty good program there. The spread here is another game that just feels really big, right? 15.5 points. I know Southern Utah also turns over a lot of their roster. But Utah State, I mean, they played Bradley into OT. Bradley's a great team. Love their defense. But it just feels like too many points for a team without like the traditional Utah State firepower. It's just not your mom's Utah State Aggies. And when I say your mom's, I mean like from literally last year with Ryan Odom. It's like so many new pieces. It just feels like too many points. So I think I like Southern Utah plus 15.5 as a lean in this one. It does feel too big. Yeah, that's what she said, question mark. Let's see. Let me take a quick peek at another peek at the Utah State roster. Yeah, Ashworth is gone, Funk is gone, Aiken's gone, Shulgin's gone, Barrista's gone, Ryland Jones is gone. Yeah, it's like basically like all transfers. I think they might have even had just like one player who played minutes for them back. So definitely sketchy, just because it's not like Southern Utah has the most continuity either. But that's where I'm at. Santa Clara and Stanford. Do we go back to the well with Santa Clara? I kind of want to. So, of course, I had POD on Santa Clara last week against Utah Tech. They just had a bad stretch first game together as a team with a lot of new pieces. To be expected. I kind of like Santa Clara here again. I don't like is this Stanford team like really that great? I don't know. I mean, they brought in Jared Bynum as a transfer from Providence in all of the turnover that we saw there. But I don't know that this Stanford team is like all that. They're currently ranked 50 in KenPom, and we're getting Santa Clara at plus 9.5, I think it was at. Yeah, plus 9.5. I mean, maybe this is like fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me type of deal. But give me Santa Clara to keep it within double digits against Stanford. And then we've got Kansas and Kentucky. I know this is probably like the game of the day or co-game of the day. Probably lean Kansas. I do not want to bet this game. Kentucky's just got so many freshmen. It's depth issues, especially in the front court for Kentucky. I mean, like, Kansas or nothing, but I have zero interest in betting this game. This is like the game to watch, not the game to bet on, is where I'm at with this one. Iowa and Creighton. Do we take the over in this game? So we all know that Creighton scores a million, trillion, bajillion points. We also know that Iowa scores the same number of points also. It's so square. But it's just got to be the lean here. It's got to be. Yeah, I mean, it just has to be. So square. But this is one of those, it doesn't feel like the under is sharp in any way. It's just like, it is what it is. Yeah, so high and chalky, yeah. But it's like Iowa just scores and doesn't play any defense. Creighton plays some defense, and they're not a fast team. They're just an efficient team, which is, I guess, like the one thing that is scary potentially about this one. But they just both score the ball so damn much. Do I use KenPom or Bart Turvik? I use KenPom. I don't think that there's really any substantive difference between the two of them. It's much more for like general looks as opposed to being like, oh, KenPom has them at 69th in tempo, but Bart Turvik has them at 65th in tempo. So I think that they're slower than people think they are because KenPom has them slower, or like anything like that. It's all just like general high level overview type stuff that I use it for. And in that sense, I don't think that they're really all that different. Okay. Couple more games. Kansas City and Baylor. Staying away from that one. Kansas City lost their best two players. They haven't played a D1 game yet this year. I don't want to fuck with that. Long Beach State and San Diego State is a kind of interesting game. Long Beach State is an interesting team. I absolutely love the Traore brothers on this team. Just elite rebounders. The two of them combined averaged like 19 boards a game last year. They also have, I think, my least favorite player in all of college basketball in Marcus Sahonis. Just because he goes out there and is like a 28% 3-point shooter, but he'll still shoot 5 of them a game. And is just a terrible jump shooter, and he'll shoot a bunch of those a game. And he'll score 15 points a game, but need like 20 shots to do it. And everyone's like, oh my God, he's a great scorer. Like, no. It's like they're the most aggravating team to watch ever. For that reason. On offense, at least. They're so much fun to watch defensively. It's just like, as soon as they have another guy who can establish himself that's not Marcus Sahonis and just be like a little bit more efficient scoring the ball consistently, I like Long Beach State, and I do lean Long Beach State actually in this spot against San Diego State. I just can't do it. I can't do it. Jackson State and Loyola Marymount, staying away from that one. We talked about UC Irvine and USC a little bit earlier. I'm staying away from that one. And then App State, Oregon State, last game of the day. Give me Oregon State here. This is basically a pick'em. They both returned their whole teams from last year. I mean, I know Oregon State was awful last year, but they played a bunch of freshmen. And that freshman year to sophomore year jump is real. I just think that Oregon State has a little bit better shooting, a little bit better length, a little bit better size. They're at home. We'll take Oregon State to cover, or I guess just on the money line. Also, back to a 4-point game, W. Just need to keep it that way. Okay, minus 2.5 now. So we'll take the as a lean. Okay. So now the challenge, should we choose to accept it, is to take the lean list and turn it into a list of bets. So of course we know we have North Dakota State +5 underway. What else are we on? What else are we on? Okay, so Providence. Providence on the money line. How do we feel about Providence? This is what I want. I want everybody give an input on these plays. Guys, we're bitching about broke shitters in our family from the 1500s. We gotta be better. Also, fuck them. Okay, like Providence, IDK if I'll bet it. Pass from TJ. Yeah, I think this is like a. I'm fine sweeping this one under the rug. Is where I'm at. Wofford plus 31.5. Definitely going to be on my card. Colorado State, Northern Colorado over. I think we have to at least consider this right now. Just because Ben's on it and Javon's on it. Toledo plus 2.5. I think I'm cool staying away from Toledo and Wright State. It's for a total so high. It's like maybe take the ML. I don't know. Any women's college basketball action? Fuck no. I mean, I'm sure people make a lot of money on it if you know what you're talking about. I have no clue what I'm talking about. Oh no, and also Crispy, you're good. I was just joking. That's a W conversation. I was kind of half reading it as you guys were having it. It's time to lock in. All right, UConn and Mississippi Valley State. So we've got the over on there as a lean, just because it's just so many damn points. It definitely, it maybe makes the card. I don't know if I'm like in a rush to place it. Jacksonville and Georgia Southern under 128. I mean, it's gross, but gross pays. Thinking about it, Bellarmine Chattanooga over. I'm not like enamored with that one, and the number dropped a lot overnight, so we'll stay off of that. Lipscomb minus 1.5. What do we think about Lipscomb? Let's go revisit the Lipscomb game. Taking on Tennessee Tech. Ognisevich, of course, still out. I think I'm going to stay away, just because the read that I have here is so similar to my read in the North Florida game against South Carolina State yesterday, and I got slaughtered in that. My POD was dead on arrival, and it was basically the same read as this Lipscomb play. So probably going to stay off of it for that reason. IUPUI plus 17.5 against Indiana State is super interesting. I don't know if we're like quite at the point where we can actually put our coin on IUPUI. At the same time, we might be getting to a point soon where there's just no value on IUPUI because they've been such a free fade for years. Like IUPUI on first half under though. That's fair. Also, GA Skills, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Welcome to the stream. GA, what is your favorite play on the card today? IUPUI over. I don't want to fuck with the total. Hey, although honestly, could be that. Also, thank you for the hydration. Grillish Cavs. W. Everybody take a second to hydrate. IUPUI, this feels like another one that could kind of get swept under the rug. We'll see. That bus says, love sprinkling quarter units on a million bets, seeing one net unit. Hitman had IUPUI over, it's hitting, and Trent is chirping him. Oh boy. We'll see. We'll see how we go. Marquette, I probably want to stay away from this one just because we don't know if Kolick is... But I just don't think it's going to be like it was a couple years ago. And like last year's game, I know Ben was on the over. It finished at like 148 because Syracuse just couldn't shoot the three. I think that a lot of these are going to get swept under the rug. I think I'm going to say this now. Every day that we've done one of these streams, if you just bet the lean list as a whole uniformly, you've made money every single day. There has not been a losing day of the lean list. Of course, even yesterday and I think one other day, the on-stream card ended up being unprofitable just because I did a bad job picking out the winners. But I feel like these are the kinds of games that get swept under the rug. Let's see. Also, GA Skill says Creighton -12 favorite play. Yeah, I like Creighton if I'm taking a spread there. I think I'd rather be on the over. The over is like super square though, and I kind of doubt I'm going to end up actually betting it. Yeah, so I think a lot of things. Let's see. Yesterday we went 500. No, if you go 500, you lose money. That's the way it works. You lose the juice. And also, it was 3, 4, and 1 yesterday. I mean, if you got Nebraska at 13.5 and not 14, you went 500. Yeah. What's my favorite play? I think my favorite play is going to be Wofford plus 31.5. Just too many points in a slow game for a team that has like a lot of decent scoring options. All right, so next up, Queens and High Point. Over. God, do we want to bet this at 167.5? Yeah, I think we do. It's so high, but I think we want to. Hofstra money line at plus 100. I really like this. Kind of pissed that the number moved against us a little bit, I guess not moved against us. We got in late here. I still like them as dogs. Florida -34.5. This is I can't do it at this number. I know Heisenberg's sitting on a golden -27.5 ticket from last night. I want to fade the fuck out of Florida A&M. I can't lay 34.5 here, or 35.5, or even like 36 on some books. I just don't think I can do it. And yeah, you're sitting on a great ticket, Heisenberg. Jacksonville State plus 8. It rhymes, as does any team that ends with State and 8. But I think that this is just a good spot betting against West Virginia. I think that the depth issues that WVU have really, really, really impact them negatively in this game. UVA. -30.5. Davis went on a little run. Don't love that. We'll see. It's going to be close. I think this is my one big spread today. North Alabama plus 19. I think I'm going to take this. I just don't think it's like a smaller version of the Tennessee game against Wofford. I don't think Mississippi State can score consistently enough to cover 19 here, and I think North Alabama has like enough guys who can just shoot the ball to get theirs. Prairie View A&M and Abilene Christian under. I think we stay away from that. There's some other gross unders that I think I like a little bit more. UTSA, probably staying away from that. Tarleton and Bradley under. This is another one that's like, it's not sexy. I don't want it to get swept under the rug. Let's see. I'm going to circle back to some of these other ugly plays. This is going to be an ugly card today. I for sure, I think, want Western Michigan plus 23.5. I don't think Northwestern is good enough to be getting this many points here. And the last couple plays, probably staying away from all of them. Southern Utah. There's just too many question marks about that team. Santa Clara, I lost betting on them before. I don't want to jump right back in. Iowa Creighton over. I just don't quite trust Creighton playing fast enough. And then Oregon State -2.5. There's just, I guess, questions about them also. Also, Seth Towns cleared by the NCAA. He hasn't played since the 1600s, it feels like. That's crazy, but good for him. Good for Howard. W's. Okay. So right now we've got North Dakota State, Wofford, over in Colorado State, Northern Colorado, over in Queens, and that should say High Point, HP, not HO. We got Hofstra, Jacksonville State, Virginia, North Alabama, Western Michigan. So we've got 9 right now. Let's take a look at some of these other plays that may or may not have been swept under the rug. So the plays that I want us to think about right now: UConn, Mississippi Valley State over. And no, this is North Alabama, not South Alabama. This is North Alabama taking on Mississippi State at plus 19, not South Alabama taking on Alabama, also at plus 19. So UConn, Mississippi Valley, I think might get swept under the rug. Jacksonville, Georgia Southern under feels like one that might get swept under the rug. IUPUI plus the points, maybe getting swept under the rug. Colgate, Syracuse under, maybe getting swept under the rug. So out of those 4, maybe 1 or 2 more. I think I'm kind of with Gavin here, that I want the Jacksonville, Georgia Southern under 128. I think that the UConn, Mississippi Valley State might be a little bit too cute. Because, I mean, UConn is going to get theirs. It's just like... It almost feels like the over and Mississippi Valley State covering are kind of the same bet. And the under and UConn covering are kind of the same bet. Because we're just betting on Mississippi Valley State scoring a little bit or scoring more than a little bit. So probably staying off of that. Just because it feels like that's too much of a wild card. IUPUI is probably too cute. Colgate and Syracuse under. Also, apparently you can bet no TD on ESPN Bet. I love that. I mean, that's a reason to use the app if that's true. As long as it's not like 15% VIG on every single player. Which is, I mean, how they're already priced. It's just blind. Under feels like a vibe bet. Are we getting good vibes or bad vibes? It just feels too high. Although, I mean, maybe it is a shit wager. Let's see. So Syracuse finished at 155 against New Hampshire and 166 against Canisius. Colgate played 1 game, finished on 142 against Brown. Yeah, I mean, this is tough. I feel like this number is so high because of how many high-scoring games these teams have played. But yeah, maybe this one has potential for it to be like, oh, that was too cute. That was a shit wager. So is this the card? We are waiting for our L on North Dakota State. Would I take Jacksonville State at 7.5? Yeah, I think so. I think that's fine. And then 9 more bets. We got Wofford plus the points. Couple big overs. Hofstra as a dog, Jacksonville State as a dog, North Alabama as a dog, Western Michigan as a dog, Virginia as our one favorite today, and then Jacksonville, Georgia Southern under. And yeah, ESPN Bet is live as of a few hours ago. Down 9, just under 7 minutes left. Yeah, so we'll sweat this one out, I suppose. I will log into the book and actually place my bets. But yeah, 9 more. I think we're vibing here. I've been betting so many favorites, so it feels kind of nice to be on the dogs. Anything on the Harvard game? No, nothing on the Harvard game. Dadbud says, did we wave off Duke and Michigan State? Yeah, I don't want to fuck with that game. There's a lot of reasons to bet both sides. Both teams kind of struggling in their own ways. TLDR on Hofstra. I was looking at it this morning when they were like plus 3.5, and I said, I literally wrote down for the first time all season, just wrong team favored. As I just think Hofstra's a better team than George Washington. Aaron Estrada's gone, but he's not their only good player. They bring back a lot of talent. I don't think George Washington has like efficient scorers. Can you briefly TLDR Central Michigan? I don't think that they're very good. They, I believe, are pretty slow. I guess been a little bit more medium tempo this year. I don't have anything right now. I don't know enough about them. I don't think I've bet in any of their games. I know they got blown out by Oklahoma earlier this year. And let's see, who are they playing? Oh, South Florida? Yeah. South Florida's our wagon this year. I'm betting South Florida. Okay. So, yeah, I think I'm happy with this card. Can you briefly TLDR? TLDR stands for too long, didn't read. It's like if somebody posts like a massive message, TLDR is too long, didn't read. And then it's like a summary. My write-up for Harvard was, don't want to deal with this game. It's like a Boston v. Boston matchup. Harvard's the better team. Northeastern's got some guys who can score. Kind of felt like, whatever it was at, like 9.5 or something. Just felt like the correct number. I didn't really see anything that jumped out to me as like, this is why we bet this team, that's why we bet that team. I don't really like the Ivy League just in general. Okay, let's see. So we are at 54-46. W. Harvard spanked Rice. They look good. You were on Rice. That's what you get for betting food. No, just kidding. Yeah, Rice is decent. Northeastern's also just like a decent team. One great game isn't a reason to bet on or against anybody. You thought I loved Santa Clara? Yeah, I do. I got burned by them last time. So I think it's a good spot. If the bets are going great, I might fire it up later. But I just don't want to rush into backing a team that I lost a bet on, and there was like a very obvious reason where it went wrong without seeing improvement from them on that front. All right, we got a 6-point game in North Dakota State, UC Davis. W. Always bet on the racing sausages? Of course. I didn't know who that is, but you should bet on them. Oh yeah, in Milwaukee. Duh. I thought that was like a college nickname. It's probably like I don't know, like Wisconsin Whitewater racing sausages. All right, Let's see here. Let's add everything to the bet slip. And root for North Dakota State. Alrighty, let's see. What do we got? What do we got? We need Wofford. W. We need that game. That one. That one. That one. So US, yeah, I think we're safe to fire up South Florida. UCLA minus 31.5 against LAU. I don't know that UCLA plays fast enough to be like a great bet here. That's what we saw in the SFPA game, at least. All right, still got a 6-point game. Oh, it's going to be so sweaty. Going to be sweaty. Velvet on the bonus, yeah. Looks like an 8-point game now. Both teams 2 fouls to give. I mean, we're close. We've got 4 minutes to play. We're 1 possession short of a cover. SEMO versus Evansville basketball. Absolute snooze fest. Also, we've got puck drop. Oh no, I guess coming up soon in Wisconsin and Providence. UC Davis. Oh, and 1 for Davis. Don't love that. Do not love that. Almost went to the Providence game. You should just go. Why not? Speaking of Wisconsin, the 2 hockey teams are ranked number 1. It's good for the state of Wisconsin, I guess. College hockey's all over the place. All right. Fucking TV timeout. So annoying. Seeing Louisville favored by 18.5 is funny, but it's Coppin State. Yeah. That's like stoppable force meets movable object. Right Angle Sports on Davis. Yeah, if we weren't streaming, I definitely wouldn't have bet this game. I was just looking for a sweat for the stream. All right, we got Davis taking the free throw. Everybody, I need you to cheer as loudly as you can for Davis to miss this free throw. Hey, they missed the free throw. All right, let's see here. Let me see if I can add the Bet365 little box score thing. Oh, that's a three-pointer for UC Davis. That might be GG's. There you go. Oh, can I react to this on stream? What's up, guys? We're here at the... That's Ben's video. Yeah, no, vibes are good, Ben. I mean, this is just one small bet. We're chilling. And yeah, this tracker is so far ahead. Okay. This is GG's. Now, if 14 points with 2 minutes left, North Dakota State shit the bed down the stretch. What's up, guys? We're here at the tailgate. What's up, guys? We're here at the tailgate. All right, so let's get rid of that. Add in this. Also, yeah, Ben, what else are you on in college basketball today? Let's go center on screen. Alrighty, hey, I know who that is. And then let me also take my camera. Look, I have a career as a React YouTuber after this. I'm just gonna watch people's videos and shit on them. Alrighty. So what's up? What's up, YouTube? Welcome to today's reaction content. Today we're watching this Capwise Ben guy with some Arizona versus Colorado bowl season tailgating. Episode 4. Everybody be sure to go click on the link to the video, watch it all the way through. Don't fuck with our watch time metrics. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe. Am I a good YouTuber? All right, let's play the video.
What's up, guys? We're here at the tailgate for the Arizona-Colorado game. We're going to ask a variety of questions to different fans about bowl games. Arizona's last bowl appearance, 2017. Arizona Wildcats are currently bowl eligible. The Buffs' last appearance was 2020. Buffs need to win 2 of the next 3 games to make a bowl. This is presented by Underdog Fantasy, and let's take a listen to what some of the fans have to say.
And before we chat with the fans, drop a like and subscribe to the channel to see the rest of the videos for the tailgating series.
All right, so first thing that I want to point out here is Arizona ranked. You know who else is ranked? JMU. JMU and Arizona, 2 of the only schools ranked in both football and basketball right now. W Sports Powerhouse, James Madison University. I guess Arizona's okay too. I wonder how this game went.
The LA Bowl is sponsored by one of these ex-NFL players. Is it Gronk, Tom Brady, or Antonio Brown? The LA Bowl.
I'm going to go with Antonio Brown.
I have no idea.
No, that's incorrect.
Sounds like something that Gronk would sponsor.
I'd have to say Gronk. He was here for
I agree. It sounds like something Gronk would sponsor.
Heavily involved in college football right now, so I'd say Gronk. So it used to be the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl.
This guy knows his shit.
Pretty sure it's the Gronk Bowl.
Ding, ding, ding. That is correct. That is correct. Correct? Yeah. She's a ball knower. Yeah. Someone said Antonio Brown. I was like, run out at halftime with the shirt off and like.
Yeah, this.
Brown.
If you said the Antonio Brown Bowl, you don't know ball. Tom Brady was like a reasonable guess. I think that Antonio Brown, not even close. Also, yes, Antonio Brown did go to Central Michigan. JMU versus Colorado in the AB Bowl, no, because neither team is bowl eligible this year.
It is Gronkowski.
Dang it.
Yeah. I'm going to list 5 different bowl names. You have to tell me which one is the fake name. So we have Avocado Bowl, the Mayo Bowl, the Chicken Tenders Bowl, the Pop-Tart Bowl, or the Cheez-It Bowl. Which one is?
Chat, what do you think? So I know that the Duke's Mayo Bowl is a thing. I know the Cheez-Its Bowl is a thing. The Avocado Bowl, I feel like avocados from Mexico is probably a bowl game. So is it Chicken Tenders Bowl or is it the Pop-Tart Bowl? I feel like the Pop-Tart Bowl is not real. Also, yeah, you should go to Chipotle and you can order the chicken tender and avocado bowl with a side of mayonnaise, and you just like put some Pop-Tarts and Cheez-Its on it. That's the bowl. Sponsored. No, you know what that should be? That should be the bowl sponsored by Bowl. It's the bowl of all of the bowl game sponsors, and then the sponsor of that bowl game is NBA player Bowl. W marketing idea.
It's not an actual bowl.
I'm going to go with Mayo.
No, that's actually a bowl.
The Mayo Bowl is bowl.
Yeah, because they eat the mayo like after the game, which is weird.
I'm gonna go with the Pop-Tart Bowl. Sounds like a little too sweet for me.
That's actually a real bowl. Yeah.
Okay, so then it's got to be
Incorrect. There's an avocado.
And then it's gotta be the Chicken Tenders Bowl.
Chicken Tenders Bowl. Doesn't seem like a real bowl. Yeah.
Also, hold on. Is this like the style? These like super reflective shades? Because Ben's got them on. I kind of fuck with them. That other guy had them on. I'm out of touch with what the kids are wearing these days. Is that like the new style?
Tender Bowl?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Correct. Chicken Tenders Bowl is the fake bowl.
Really?
Yeah.
I love chicken tenders.
Yeah.
They were free at the tailgate. Nice.
If you had to create a bowl from scratch, what would it be? Who would it be sponsored by? Where would it be played at?
Can be anywhere.
Chat, what do you think? What's your if you're creating a bowl game from scratch. I know I would make the Capwise Bowl. And it would be just like the way that you get into the Capwise Bowl. It would be the Capwise Bowl sponsored by some like company that makes wagons. And it would be like, who's a company like the John Deere Wagon Bowl sponsored by Capwise or something like that. And it would just be like the two best teams ATS. Those are the two teams that make the bowl game. And then we could also have the like whatever the opposite of a wagon is, like the Wagont, WAGON''T. They're not wagons. That's the bowl game of like the two worst ATS teams. The Shit Bowl, and Pitt would host it and play it every year. Yeah, they actually call that the Backyard Brawl. West by God. Yeah, they already have a name for that.
Literally anywhere.
Bowl that I would create. I would have to put it right here in Boulder. Best place on earth.
The Boulder Bowl.
I would say something that's
the Boulder Bowl. BOWLDER Bowl. I love it. This guy's a marketing genius.
local, so the Sink would be sponsoring that bowl here in Boulder.
Hell yeah, the Sink. Shout out the Sink.
I mean, we're in Boulder. There's got to be some Boulder Bowl, so I would go with that.
Maybe like marijuana-ish, you know, the
that,
Native Roots Bowl.
Native Roots would be great. They're everywhere. Not sponsored, no free ads.
Yeah. The players get like some joints after the game.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
And I would go with Avery. White Rascals, a great beer.
Players get like free beer after the game.
Is that allowed?
I mean, NIL, at this point, what's stopping them, right? After the game, though.
Of course, after the game.
I'm going to call it the Nutella Bowl, and we're going somewhere warm. Let's go to Jamaica.
Jamaica? Okay.
The Nutella Bowl.
Jamaica Bowl.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'd put it in Bali.
The volleyball.
Volleyball, easy.
Hell yeah.
Easy.
The kids would love it.
Parents would love it.
Everyone would love it.
Everyone would love it.
And how about the Underdog Fantasy Bowl? Download Underdog
How about the
Fantasy
Underdog
today.
Fantasy
Use
Bowl?
promo
Wow,
code CAPWISE. Pick
W
higher
ad
or
Ben, that's
lower on
crazy.
players' fantasy projections, and for real money, of course.
You've been to see your bowl game? Tell me about it.
The Carly Bowl.
2007, CU made it in Shreveport, Louisiana. We road tripped all the way
the Happy
there.
Birthday Bowl.
We played Alabama, and we lost. We drove down, went to the game, and drove through the
People
night
in
home.
Colorado are
was a
weird.
fun road.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Grillish
there's Nick
Cavs.
Saban. Funny enough, this was actually his first bowl win with Alabama.
Bowl-wise,
Coach's son Dan Hawkins, starting quarterback for the Buffs. A lot of fans have mixed opinions on him. Alabama dominated most of this game.
Where are you
Here's
from?
an INT by Ryan Walters, currently the head coach of the Purdue Boilermakers.
Everybody's
Fun fact
weird.
there.
Ryan Walters
Smucker's
just comes
Uncrustable.
off the hash mark and gets a big turnover right there for Colorado.
But the Buffs made it a game in the second half. Touchdown here by Cody Hawkins to make it a one-possession game. But all in all, it was too much for the Buffs to overcome.
Be a much more pleasant 5-hour.
Okay, hold on. Can we talk about George's comment here? All of the players on the winning team get iced out chains sponsored by Coach Prime, and then the losing team gets to steal them. That's genius. That's genius. We don't need the this bowl or the that bowl or the Rose Bowl or the San Diego County Credit Union Poinsettia Bowl. Just give us George's Bowl. Brilliant.
Drive down Interstate 20.
Unfortunately for Kaylee, it was a 15-hour drive. When Nick Saban's looking for Hawkins, he's arguing with the refs. God knows about what. Maybe he's saying Merry Christmas. I have no clue. All right, let's flash forward to 2023. Arizona played tough. Jeb Fisher, you got to give props to him for turning around the program. All in all, Arizona won the game with this game-winning field goal. It was a fun game. It was a beautiful day for football. And props to the Wildcats. So now the Buffs have to win their last two games to make a bowl. If they can't do that, the only bowling we might see is Travis Hunter playing against the player who lacerated his liver.
All right. W video from our boy Benjamin. That was good. Ben, honestly, you do such a good job with these. They're great. Everybody, again, be sure to go watch the video in its entirety. Drop a like. Subscribe to the Capwise YouTube channel. Yeah, we need the Boljamin Bowl. As many puns as we can fit. That's the bowl that we need. But yeah, W video, L bet on North Dakota State. Looks like Davis was the move. So let's hope that the rest of the card goes a little better. So I am going to hop off for the night. There's going to be a stream at some point tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be in the morning or if it's going to be later in the afternoon again. I kind of like the afternoon stream. So maybe more likely that it's an afternoon stream. But we'll definitely be doing something for Wednesday, college basketball, and then, of course, football on Thursday. So yeah, W stream, W video from Ben. Yeah, go click on it, watch the full video, drop a comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel, do all the things. This is where I go, did you know that 98% of you aren't subscribed? Click that motherfucking subscribe button. Whatever, everybody, I feel like these days has their tongue-in-cheek message like that in their videos. But yeah, good luck with your bets today, everybody. Unless you're fading me, let's hope they go better than North Dakota State did. And I will see you all tomorrow.